This is Michael Lukes with After School, and this is the 5 Minutes with a Teen Difference Maker interview series, a collaborative effort between After School and our partner Peace First. Today we're speaking with young changemaker Jeremiah Anthony. Jeremiah, thank you so much for joining me. We're talking about West High Bros, a social media effort that allows students to share positive, anonymous messages with their school. How would you explain that effort in 30 seconds or less?
So we try to include bullies in the solution to bullying, and I think that's one thing that sets us apart from other organizations. We don't try to just help victims of bullying, we try to help bullies themselves as well.
And how would you explain that effort? How do you help the bullies?
We give them the validation, attention, and respect that they crave, and what oftentimes fuels their bullying, but we give it to them in a positive manner. We compliment them, we build them up instead of help them tear other people down. They crave it. They crave that attention, respect, and recognition that I mentioned before. So it's really not that hard to reach them. It's just appealing to the human in them.
Now, West High Bros was mostly known for your presence on Twitter. What all was included in the effort, and how did you work to establish that?
So we started off with Twitter, and it's always been grassroots. Everything we've done has been grassroots. So it's always been word of mouth. We expanded into an online database for kids who are being bullied or bullies themselves, for kids who are feeling suicidal or depressed. We've had a radio show. We've written online articles. We've tried to make it a fully immersive experience, and that anyone who comes to us has the resource, no matter what medium it is, to deal with their issues.
So outside of the people you impacted with the effort, what are some of the other benefits that you've received from doing this personally?
I think one of the biggest ones has been meeting a bunch of other young change makers like myself.
So on a high level, how do you think we can stop issues in our society like bullying?
I think recognizing the human in everyone and just realizing that it takes a little bit of madness to change the world. Conventional solutions, they're great and everything, but we're dealing with something that's unconventional or atypical in people. Most people are nice people. I'm firmly convinced of this, coming from a background of working with the worst in people. So I think I'm qualified to say that most people are good. But no matter what we face, no matter if it's bullying, racism, sexism, you have to just recognize that the person in front of you, the person next to you, and the person working behind you is just a human, no different than you or I. At the end of the day, we want the same things.
Great, I love that, especially the part about unconventional solutions, because there's so much out there, but a lot of it hasn't worked. So yeah, it's definitely an issue that we need to keep innovating around and looking for those unique solutions that will work. So for a youth interested in tackling a problem that they're passionate about, what are a couple steps that you would recommend they take right now?
First of all, beyond just like the basic, identify the problem, identify what resources you have, try to go beyond that. Try to find what makes you special. Like, sure, you might be very socially connected, but what sets you apart? What makes you unique? And how can you use your uniqueness to bring people together?
And from your experience, what's your best piece of advice for a teenager listening to this interview?
Don't be afraid to take the back seat. I think a lot of times we as a society say, be a leader. Every college and high school says we make leaders, but sometimes you have to listen. You have to realize that you aren't going to be the pioneer in this yet. You have to recognize when it's your time. And I know that's been a hard pill for me to chew, because I'm very much like, there's a problem, let me be the first person there. But sometimes you have to be the co-pilot. And I think there's great value in that. A movement only starts with the second person. Otherwise, it's just like a Don Quixote going out there, just a lone figure. Being the second person is incredibly brave.
Is there a way that someone can determine when those times are, when they should be the person that goes out there and tries to be the, lone wrecking force, versus other times where maybe they should partner up with somebody or kind of take that back seat that you mentioned?
It's really a gut feeling. It's really something that comes through a lot of trial and error.
And what are you currently working on?
I'm currently working on, and this is just from the ground level, on fighting homelessness. I've always said ever since I was a little kid, if I don't tackle homelessness during my lifetime, then nothing I've ever done will matter. It's been the issue that I've cared about the most for the longest time, and so I'm starting on that. I haven't put together anything substantial. Still brainstorming. I'm still in the back seat, co-piloting, as I was talking about before. But I'm enjoying it. I'm learning from a lot of people who are much better than me, who are wise beyond their years and experienced in this field. You know, down the road, maybe it'll be a month, maybe it'll be a year, maybe it'll be a couple of years. I'll be on the front lines of homelessness, and I'm excited for that. That's the thing I'm just chomping at the bit to tackle.
And why is that something you're so passionate about? When did you realize that you were passionate about it?
I mean, as long as I can remember, honestly, whenever I saw those people, those humans, those just like people who were no different than me when I was 6 or 7, just outside of Walmarts or malls and stuff, begging for money with their cardboard signs, it really hurt me. And every time that we had to drive past people who were just asking for like food, it hurt me. Even if we gave money or food, it still hurt because I knew that it wasn't enough for their life. It's just a sandwich that's feeding someone for a day. You know, tomorrow they'll be hungry again, and I won't be there. That's always just bugged me. It's always gnawed at my mind and just been like a little itch under my skin. I hate it.
How can the Peace First Challenge help young people make a positive impact on the world?
Peace First Challenge, it's not the only group helping young change makers, but I think one thing that sets the Peace First Challenge apart is that it actively connects young change makers with each other and then gives them mentorships and partnerships with people who are experienced in the field that the change maker wants to go into. And then also puts their money where their mouth is. It gives them financial support, and that's something that really sets the Peace First Challenge apart. It gives young people confidence that there are people out there who are willing to invest in them. And that's really rare these days.
Very true. And thanks again for speaking with me today and for sharing your story and advice to others. To learn more about the Peace First Challenge and to get involved today, visit peacefirst.org